Welcome to St. Clair Studio. Well, it's not so much of a studio yet, but it will be in the weeks and months ahead. Now, this room has a rich history, and I've heard from several sisters as to their recollections of what all happened in this room. But the thing that I found most interesting is that it apparently once held Mother Mary Adelaide's artifacts after she died and before we had a heritage room. And a certain golden jubilarian, whose name will go unmentioned, remembers an electric blue vigil light that was kept burning here. Now, our new studio will not have electric blue vigil lights, but it will have lights, cameras, and plenty of action. But far more important than the studio are the people behind the scenes, the people who like to be behind the scenes, until today. I'd like to introduce, first of all, Terry Boxthaler, our Director of Communications and Marketing, and Elizabeth Ryder, our Communications and Marketing Specialist. Now, last week, we heard on Founders Day that the patron saint of television was St. Clair, hence the name St. Clair Studio. Today, what we're going to focus on are three other individuals who are patrons in sort of a way of various aspects of communications, marketing, and social media, who are either Franciscan or Franciscan at heart.
First, we want to talk about Saint Bernadette of Siena. He was a Franciscan priest, and for a number of years, 10 or 12 years, he didn't even preach because his voice wasn't great. Then years later, he was on mission in Milan, and he did preach, and lo and behold, his voice came back to him. It was very commanding and clear, and he wound up becoming a famous orator. So here he's now in the limelight. For many years before, he was behind the scenes. So we wonder if maybe that's why he is the patron saint of marketing and communications, because sometimes he's in the limelight, sometimes he's not. He also had a special devotion to the holy name of Jesus, and he's the person who created the IHS symbol.
Another very important patron saint of communications is Carlo Tutus. He was a young Italian who died of leukemia at the age of 15 in 2006. He was a great follower of St. Francis, and he asked to be buried in Assisi. He was beatified in October of 2020. He was a young computer programmer, and at the age of 11, he began to document the Eucharistic miracles from around the world, and then he cataloged those on the internet, which is why he has been dubbed the patron saint of the internet.
And last but not least, we have our beloved Pope Francis. Now think back to March 13th, 2013. The white smoke had just risen from the Sistine Chapel, and we waited for those doors to open. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited. We probably remember where we were and who we were with. I was with fellow employees at the Pastoral Center in the Diocese of Biloxi in the Resource Center. Doors finally opened, and they made the announcement in Latin. Everybody looks at me, I kind of shrugged my shoulders until I heard the word Francesco. And I said, I think he took the name Francis. Of course, we didn't know which Francis, but we quickly learned he indeed had taken the name Francis after Francis of Assisi. And so has he modeled his papacy. His words, his actions, his writings are all so very Franciscan. And that's why he's dubbed the patron saint of public relations. Well, that's about it for today. We hope you enjoy these videos. They're meant to further our mission and our ministries. They're meant to be informative, educational, inspirational, and maybe even fun. So until next time, cheers from the
Claire
Video
Clipboard
Crew. It's a wrap.